Hey, how's it going, everyone? So we created these quarantine workouts for you guys. You have 4 days. The reason being we created them for you is you got to think about this a little bit. I know with all this craziness going on, it's fun to be at home sometimes and play your video games, etc. But from an athlete standpoint, if you take time off from playing the sport, that's fine, but you have to be doing something to maintain. If an athlete stops performing and stops working out for 1 week, your athletic ability and your strength, endurance, etc., it starts to go down. 2 weeks, it hits even more. 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So we really need to make sure you're doing this stuff to maintain. Now, some of these exercises, you're probably not going to even be like, I'm not doing that. You may think it's too challenging. Replace them, substitute them, reach out to one of the coaches or YouTube something. If you work out with somebody else, talk to them. Find something different that you can do or replace it. But just make sure you guys are actually spending time and doing something. That's why we created these workouts. We didn't just do them because, oh, well, that's fun. Coach Shane and I spent a lot of time and effort doing this for you. So just remember that you're doing this for a reason. Again, you're trying to maintain that athletic ability, that strength that you guys have worked so hard for. The biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that we want to make sure that you're succeeding. So again, please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. So most of these workouts are done with body weight, using a book bag, a duffel bag. You can use 5-gallon buckets, anything at home, a table, a chair. Now, if you guys have workout equipment at home, all these exercises substituted with dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells. For those of you that work out, you know what to do, you know how to do it, but add your own equipment to it. For those of you that don't, again, book bags or duffel bags we found is actually really good. So get a couple, use books. Books weigh down the bags pretty well, and you can kind of modify the weight as you go. Buckets of water, they're fun. You can also fill those up for some weight as well. So your program, so we did 4 days, okay? 4 days, you don't have to do them all. We recommend if you do 2, try to do day 1 and day 3. If you do 3, do 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter, just pick. If you do 1 day, maybe just cycle them through. On the workouts, they may be a little confusing to read. For those of you that have been with us, you know how to read them. But what I'm going to do now is kind of take some time to explain that to you. So what I have here is an example, and I'm going to kind of pull it close so Coach Shane can put that camera on there. So you notice on the left side here, we have your name, day, that's the day. So right where it says warm up, that's your beginning. That's the first thing you do. Week 1, we have foam roll. If you have a foam roller, use it. Then on your workout, you guys have team dynamic. On the team dynamic, what I want you guys to do is do whatever you guys have done before practices, before games with your teams. If you've never really done anything, you can Google or YouTube dynamic warm-ups and do those. It is so important to warm up, and I can't stress that enough. I know I got a little excited there, but warming up is so important for so many reasons, guys. If you watch any professional sport, any D1 sport, if you ever go to any of those games, an hour before the games, guys, the athletes are out there warming up. They're doing stuff. They're working on proprioception. They're working on activation. And that's why, because it's so important. It reduces the risk of injury, but it also helps you perform better. So make sure you're spending time on your dynamic warm-up. Your dynamic warm-up should be like your high knees, your butt kicks, your knee hugs, your walking with the quad stretch, shoe swipes, open, close the gate, skips. Skip a lot in your warm-up, get that CNS going. After your warm-up, you go into pre-lift. Our pre-lift, we more so call activation. So the importance of your pre-lift is activation and mobility. So after your dynamic, you're warmed up. Now we got to get those muscles firing even more. So usually we like to do some sort of shoulder activation, mobility, glute activation, maybe a hip activation, ankle, but definitely core. So on this one, it's a little different than what you guys are doing, but I'm just going to have Coach Shane show you so you can explain it. So we have pre-lift 1. If it's highlighted, typically you do that as a set by itself. So it may have 1 to 2 exercises. You do them, rotate forever how many reps and sets it says. Then you move on to the next one. And then typically the second two, you do them as a set or a superset. But really it's up to you guys. Do it how you want as long as you do them. Again, the pre-lift is super important. So make sure when you're doing your pre-lift stuff that you're feeling it in those areas and you're really working on that form. After your pre-lift, actually, this is a different workout, mind you, sorry. So you may have speed work. We put speed work on your quarantine workouts because you're not practicing, you're not sprinting, so your speed work might be right after your dynamic, which it should be, yes. Make sure you do that too. I know it's like, oh, I don't really want to go do sprints. If the weather's bad, try to do something fast twitch or CNS activation. Now, remember, you're not practicing, you're not sprinting, so go out and do your sprints, okay? If you're not running fast, you're not going to be fast. If you're not practicing your sprints, you're not going to get faster. It's the same thing at practicing your skills for your sports. We didn't put very many. I think each day there's about 5, maybe some jumps too. But make sure you're doing those. So right after the speed, then you go into the pre-lift. Right after your pre-lift, then you get into your workout. So each workout you guys have, there are 3 circuits. And you're doing each circuit for however many sets it says, and the circuits are going to be on the column 1, 2, 3 to the 5th column to the right, and your reps are right in front of that. So how to read the circuits is right here where it says exercise 1A through 1D. Those are all exercises in one circuit, meaning you're going to do all 4 of these. Now there's not 1 on D, but you're going to do 1A, 1B, 1C, and then you're going to rotate through it forever how many sets there are. Okay. After you finish those, after you do all those sets, then you go down to circuit 2, do the same thing, and then circuit 3. There are some finishers and cool downs on there. You don't have to do them. We kind of just put them in there for a little giggle. Now, these exercises can be performed for 2 to 3 weeks. So how you kind of follow that is last one here. You can see where it says session A, week 1. So your first week you do that column. Then the next week you do session A, you go to week 2, okay? Week 3, week 4. Since you don't have these printed out, you can't really log your weight. That's kind of the reason why we do it, to follow it that way. But that's kind of how you follow it. Now, at the very end of your workouts, unless you're gonna go play a sport with some friends or do our cool down, if you guys have a foam roller, use it. Foam roll 3 to 5 minutes, but let's get some stretches in too, okay? I know you're not really lifting heavy, but think about mobility. Think about flexibility. That plays a huge part too in becoming a better athlete. So make sure you guys are doing those as well. There is a key that we'll be sending out too. The key kind of explains this a little bit, but we wanted to take a video just to make sure you guys really fully understand it for those of you that actually want to do this and will do it. There are links on the key. This is important. If you don't know the exercises or how to do them, because everybody, let's be honest, everybody words their exercises differently. We put links on each day. If you click on that link, it will send you to a YouTube video of us explaining the workouts, the pre-lifts, the speed stuff, or just videos of you showing it. So there's going to be, in the middle it says quarantine day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So if you click on that day 1, it pops up a link. You go to that link, it goes to our YouTube. It shows you videos, either us instructing or just showing you. I think in our instructional videos, we kind of just rep it out just to show you. That way you can see it. Now, the last thing, or also there's a key too, so like abbreviations on the far right. So if you don't know what SA stands for, SL, single arm, single leg. Tempo, this is important too, sorry I forgot. Tempo, we're doing a lot of tempo stuff with you guys. When it comes to maintaining strength, if you don't have weights, tempo is really a good way to go. What that means is doing a lot of eccentrics, isometrics, concentrics. So I'll explain that real quick. There is usually, when you do a tempo, you could do 4 numbers, meaning you'll have a number, dash, number, dash, number, dash, number. We did 3 just to make it easy. So you may have something that says 3 colon or 3 dash 3 dash 3. So you have 3, 3, 3. What that means is your first number is your lowering. So if I did a squat and it was 3, 3, 3, I'm going to go down 3 seconds, hold 3 seconds, and then up 3 seconds. So doing tempo or TUT exercises, isometrics, eccentrics, concentrics, that's where you're really gonna get that strength without using a lot of weight, okay? And last but not least, again, my number is on there. Please reach out to me or one of the coaches if you have questions, or maybe you have some workout equipment at home and you're really interested in a more customized program with that equipment. Send us a picture of what you have and we'll do our best to create something for you. Because again, our biggest reason why we're doing this isn't because we're bored. It's not because it's fun. It is fun, but it's a lot of time and effort. The biggest reason is we want you guys to succeed. That is our goal. We want you guys to take that this time to keep going to that next level. All right, to keep bettering yourself. And that's what this is all about. So again, make sure you reach out if you have questions, but really put some time and effort into this and do your best. All right, Raider Pride.